Hello and welcome to the Tavern Chat podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, and main proprietor of the Tenkar's Tavern blog. So, it is a tavern, so I probably should drink. So, in my hands, I have a Schorferhofer Hefeweizen grape beer. It's in a can, I guess 16.9 ounces. This is a German brew. I've had it in the past. It's fairly light when it comes to your alcohol content, 2.5 by volume, 3.2 by weight. I don't know why that would be different, but hey, I don't know. Still, less than most beers. Nice little opening. But, it's the tavern, right? It's actually a very refreshing beer for a hot day. Nice sour, sweet grapefruit in it. In any case, a few updates. Zach Smith, Mandy Morbid. Mandy apparently is a Canadian. She's a Canadian citizen. Therefore, the venue would be in Canada. And yes, it's a much lower bar for Zach to hit in a civil court in Canada than it would have been in an American court. But even in our states, it varies by state. If you wanted to file for, I think the words are tortious interference, when your words or actions are designed to interfere with somebody's business, somebody's company, the bar is lower in Texas. So just an observation there for you. So now, what are we going to talk about today? Well, that's a tricky one. So I'll have to come back in a moment and let you know what it is. All right. So, as an aside, if you're using Anchor on your computer, yesterday it was dropping these episode segments directly into the episode builder on the right-hand side, or what you want to call it. Today it's not. Who the fuck knows? But Joe the Lawyer hit his 50th episode yesterday. Joe the Lawyer's Wondrous Imaginings. And was it Not So Wondrous Imaginings? Might be Not So Wondrous Imaginings. But in any case, Joe's hit 50 episodes, and he gave some ideas, some helpful hints with Anchor, and they were good. But I've got a few to throw in myself. Anchor is drop shit easy to use. When Joe asked me way back when about using Anchor, what I thought about it, he wanted to start a podcast. I just told him, just do it. Really, it's easy. Now, some people make it more complicated than it needs to be because they want to make a cleaner episode or a cleaner podcast. When I say cleaner, I don't mean cursing. If you curse as much as I do, I guess I'm like the version of the Happy Jacks one-man show, but OSR focused. No, what I mean by cleaner is that somebody like Glenn House from Old Man Grognard. Glenn actually records using a separate app. He goes in, he adjusts sound levels, he takes out fuck ups and shit like that. I do not. You get a very raw episode with me, and I think that is where Anchor thrives, is the ability to record something, slap it together, and put it up 5 minutes after you're done recording it. I think it's great that it allows you to record from your phone. If you've listened to the 2 episodes I did at North Texas RPG Con, first one we did in the main hall, or the main room on Friday night, with a lot of drop-ins, a lot of walk-bys, a lot of conversation going around us. You can see how effective my phone's microphone is. Second one, we recorded it at the Frog God game booth after business hours when the booth was closed, but there's still gaming going on in the vendor hall. So just so you can hear how well it picks up sound. So using it, say like as Hobbs does, to when he's driving to and from on his daily work schedule in the work van, because you hear the turn left in 500 feet. Yeah, in a way that's rawer than me, but it's part of the charm of using Anchor. Anchor is, I guess, like you're going to say, the equivalent of Blogger to what blogs were. Anchor is to podcasts. Now, does that mean that I think that everybody should put up a podcast? No, not everybody should put up a blog. But if you are going to do it, if you have that drive to do it, whether it's a blog or a podcast, certain rules or certain suggestions work for both. One, blog or talk about a subject that you enjoy, something that you're passionate about, because your passion will come through. Okay? Don't just look and go, oh, what's a popular topic for a podcast? What's going to get me a lot of listeners? Oh, I see X is going to get me a lot. I should talk about 5e because 5e is where it's at. You know what? You might get more listeners initially, but I don't know if you're going to keep them. Okay, if you talk about what, maybe you are passionate about 5e, then that's what you should be talking about. I'm passionate about the OSR, and that's generally what I talk about, and I think that comes through. It's not the most popular podcast in the world. It's certainly not the least popular. As OSR, old school podcasts go, it's pretty strong. As gaming podcasts go, it's probably just south of the middle when it comes to listenership. But there's a lot for people to choose from. Remember, also, it's not a zero-sum game. Just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean that you can't. Okay? Think about that. Oh my God, I want to talk about 1E, but somebody else has a 1E podcast out. Fuck it. Do 1E from your perspective. Do 1E with your twist. That is what's going to get you not just your listenership, or if you're doing a blog, your readership, but it's what's going to keep you interested in it. Suggestion 2, and I think I've mentioned this before, at least when it comes to blogs, be consistent with your timing. At this point, my blogs come out in the evening. People know that. I'd like to get them out earlier. Maybe I can change it at some point. But I do it on a daily basis. So people know, hey, there's going to be a new Tavern Chat on a daily basis. Oh, hey, there's going to be a new post up on Tanker's Tavern every day. Maybe more than one post, but we've been averaging one post recently. If you're not going to do it daily, I'm not suggesting that you do, because it's a pain in the ass, number one, and requires a lot of time. But my suggestion would be have a regular release. Maybe you put out a podcast every Monday and Friday. Believe it or not, even if people aren't consciously realizing that you have a pattern, they will fall into that. And they will look for you on those days that you regularly do so. Yes, you can randomly put out your podcast. You can randomly blog post and post for 4 days and not again for 4 weeks. I'm just giving my advice as to how best to build your readership or build your listenership. Beyond that, if you've never podcasted before, spend time listening to podcasts. Hear how people do it. Some people do it very scripted. Some are very improv. Joe talks about that. I am very off the cuff. I generally don't have a script. Well, no, I never have a script. At most, I may have a few words written down, so I hit certain points. I didn't do that today. Okay, so yes, Donka, but I'm not talking about you. Donka is very improv. Moo. You see? Now, some people might go, oh shit, now I got to re-record this. I'm not that type. But you know that if you listen to this podcast. Enough, Duncan. Most important thing, do. Do. And when I'm saying do, what I mean is the only way you're going to get better at what you do is by doing it. You're not going to get better at doing a podcast by reading books about how to podcast. You're not going to get better at doing a blog by reading books about doing a blog. How do you become a better writer? You fucking write. How do you become a better blogger? You write blog posts. How do you become a better podcaster? You fucking podcast. The only way you're going to get better at the craft that you choose for yourself is by doing it. Okay? Nothing beats the experience of doing it. If you look at my early podcasts, if you look when I was occasionally guesting on World for Initiative, or when we were doing, oh God, before Old School Blues, before I was on Save or Die, oh my God, myself with Vince and Glenn. Why can't I remember it? Brainstorm. The Brainstorm podcast was, we went into that. You can listen to how I talked back then. I'm not saying I don't use fillers anymore. I still use the duh. That happens, but I was using it a lot more back then. You improve by doing. Some people feel that they can improve by editing the shit out of their podcast, and maybe they can. Since I don't edit my podcasts, I have to do better as I do it. So that's my advice. Take it or leave it. Take some of it, leave the rest of it. Tell me I'm full of shit. I certainly might be. There are those that most certainly do better podcasts and better blogs than I do. But within our corner of the universe, my blog and my podcast are successful enough for me to feel that I can offer advice. You don't have to take it. My advice is certainly not necessarily proper for you. I'm not just a podcaster. I play one on the internet type of shit, But what's that? What they say? If you have a microphone, you're an expert on the topic. Doesn't have to do with TV. I'll say, hey, look, some random schmuck on the street, but he's an expert now about that fire that's going on because he witnessed it when it got there 10 minutes after it started. I'm on a random track. Just tell me to shut up. Do. Oh, and before you even do, start. If you're thinking about starting a podcast, start it. Anchor is free. Blogger is free. I'm not saying either one is the best platform to use in the medium that you're choosing, but they are both simple and free. Think about that. All right, folks. As always, stay safe, be well, roll your dice, and most importantly, God bless. I will talk with you all tomorrow. Later, folks.